Hi, welcome to this Excel tutorial video. Today we're going to look at how to fix a broken lookup. So you might be happy with lookups and you might be happy with the syntax and writing a lookup, but Excel will still try and trip you up in other ways, and we're going to look at a couple of those ways in this tutorial. So what I've got on screen is a list of expenses for people. I've got the people's code here and I want to populate the name in this column here from this users tab, this users worksheet. So if I look at my vLookup, it looks fine. It says I'm going to A2, compare A2, the column which is here. Then I'm going to go to users and look at A2 to B8, which is this set of data here. Then I'm going to return whatever's in column B as a match. So it's obviously not working. I've got this NA here. It doesn't like it. And there's a couple of things wrong with it. So first of all, let's fix the first thing. The comparison column, this thing here, Excel will look at the format of that column when it compares this to this. And in this worksheet, these values are stored as numbers. And in this worksheet, these values are stored as text. So Excel will look and say, I'm looking for 10001 as text in here. But that isn't 10001 as text. It's 10,001, the number. So Excel doesn't see a match. So it says, I can't find a match, so I can't return the name. So what we need to do is, one side or the other, we need to alter the format to make it match. So the way we do that, you've got this little exception button here. Now I've added an apostrophe here to force this to be text, because Excel was actually being a bit too helpful when I was trying to set this example up. But what you'll find is you'll have this little exception mark here, and it will say the number's stored as text. And if you click on the drop down, it'll say, do you want me to convert it to a number? So if I say yes, happy days, that's worked, and I've got my name. I can then, I don't need to do it one at a time. I can hide it the whole lot. And I can come here and I can say, yes, convert to number. And it converts all of these to numbers. Now, that ought to fix everything, but it doesn't. So what we've got here is we've got that working and we've got Wharf working, but for whatever reason, that isn't working and none of the ones below are working. So there's still something not quite right. So if we look at here, if we look at our vLookup, it's looking at A2 to B8, which is kind of what we want, A2 to B8. But if we look down on the next value here, you'll see that the numbers have changed, A3 to B9. It's what Excel does. If you drag something down with this little button here, it will update references. As you go down rows, it will update the row values here. So here we're looking at A2. Here we need to look at A3. So it's updated this to 3, which is correct. But it's also changed these numbers here, which is wrong. So what we need to do is force it to keep that value updating all the way around, all the way down, because we want it to look at the corresponding value in the same row. But we still want A2 to be 8. We don't want that to change. So what we can do is we can add a little $ here. And this $ prefixing the numbers will stop those numbers from changing. So I've added that $. If I now drag this down here, it will fix the vLookup. And if we just do a little check here, here we've got A2, we've got A2 to B8. Here we've got A3, which is what we want, but we've still got A2 to B8. So the $ that prefix the numbers, the $ stop the numbers from changing. And it's the same with rows. If we were dragging something across, A would change to B and B would change to C, and so on along. But if we prefix them with $, A would stay static and so would B. So by putting the $ in, we are forcing the vLookup to keep those two values static. Another way of doing it, and the way that I generally do it, is I don't put the numbers. I just put the columns. So instead of A2 to B8, Because let's imagine we added another person at the bottom of here. It wouldn't get picked up if we added whoever, Q, to the bottom of here. Our, and let's just put in an expense for him here. That's not going to work because the new value doesn't exist in A2 to B8 because the new value is on row 9. So what I would generally do is instead of saying the row numbers, I would just put the columns in. So instead of A2 to B8, I would just put A to B. In fact, I'll put it to the top here, A to B. And if I drag that down, we'll see that it corrects everything. You can see that Q appears here. So instead of looking at specific rows, it's just looking down the whole column. We can add as many entries as we like, and the vLookup will pick it up. That's the end of this tutorial. I hope you found it helpful. Any comments, please leave them, and I will reply when I can. But thanks for your time. Have a good day.